My name's Courtney Gilbert. I'm the curator of visual arts at Sun Valley Center for the Arts, and the exhibition that we're looking at today is called Creativity at Work. This exhibition is part of a larger multidisciplinary project that the center is doing about the role of creativity in the American workplace today. I looked for artists who were considering the idea of work, either actual labor, different kinds of labor, the places work is done, or the financial side of one's work life, particularly the financial side of life as an artist. The exhibition features artwork by 6 contemporary artists. One of the projects I'm most excited about is a set of 144 wooden signs that we made in conjunction with an artist named Alan McCollum. McCollum is an internationally famous artist who has been working for a number of years on a project that he calls the Shapes Project, which is a system he's created to design a unique shape representing every human being on the planet. When we started talking to Alan about the project, he suggested we make shapes from Idaho. And here in the Wood River Valley, we're surrounded by wooden signage, especially in the Sawtooth National Recreation Area and in the Sawtooth Forest. We worked with a number of small local businesses and craftspeople in order to produce the signs. As part of the exhibition, we have 2 sculptures by an artist named Yumi Gennaro Roth, who's a professor at the University of Colorado at Boulder. And Yumi is really interested in the kinds of labor that often get overlooked, including shipping labor, construction work, immigrant labor, the kind of global transport of goods and services. Everything we buy gets shipped around the world. And so we have these 2 sculptures that get at those ideas, and one is called Stacked Datsun, and it's in the back of an original Datsun pickup truck from the 1960s. She's filled with these shipping pallets that she's carefully inlaid with these beautiful mother-of-pearl patterns that she's adapted from traditional Filipino furniture. So there's this sense of taking an everyday object, something that's used to do all kinds of work that actually does work for us, and elevating it by making it more precious. And the same thing is true of her sculpture 10,000 Pennyweights, which is, at first glance, looks like a roll of chain link fence, but rather than being something mass produced out of steel, it's a handmade sculpture made from sterling silver. Sillins is an artist who, for a number of years now, has been making work about the relationship between traditional crafts and modernism. What we have on display here are 3 pieces from a project he's been working on called Piecework. He actually makes these quilts from used envelopes, both paper and Tyvek envelopes, following traditional quilt patterns, but he's using the envelopes that once held things like bank statements, bills, and paychecks. Just beautifully, meticulously made paper sculptures, essentially, that get at the idea of money coming into and out of an artist's household. And also, at a way of doing business that's kind of disappearing in the digital age. We don't pay our bills. We tend to pay our bills online now. We receive our paychecks by direct deposit. Danica Phelps is an artist who, like Sillins, is making work that's in part about the idea of money flowing into and out of her household. She, for a number of years, has kept really careful track of the money that she earns from selling her artwork and then what she spends that money on. And she's done a project that she calls Income's Outcome, which features big panels of red and green stripes that record the money coming in and out of her household in a given month. And then these beautiful, kind of elegant line drawings of the things that she spends the money she earns on, so her purchases. And those 2 note how much each thing costs. Gould is a photographer who lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico now and teaches at the University of New Mexico, but for a long time she lived in Maine. And while she was living there, Maine magazine commissioned her to do a series that became a monthly feature in the magazine called Workspace. And she traveled around the state of Maine visiting different kinds of workspaces. So we've got a classroom, a commercial kitchen, an artist studio, and then also a boat yard, a greenhouse. Some of the spaces are actually more unexpected, like a duck decoy painter and the work table of a person who paints glass eyeballs. And what I like about the photos is that they illustrate the fact that many of us continue to work with materials and tools that have existed for decades, if not centuries, making work by hand. Tracy Linder grew up on a family farm, and now she lives on the plains of south central Montana. Much of her artwork is about her experience working on the farm as she grew up, and also in part about her family's loss of the farm when she was a young adult. Her work is very much about our connection to our food sources and the way that we work the land and also the way that we work with animals in order to create our food. So we have on display 4 panels. They're actually made from animal collagen. Tracy Linder often works with the materials of farming, so she'll embed grasses and soil into her work. In addition to the exhibition, as part of this project, we are showing films like Objectified, which is about our relationship with the designers who create the products that we buy, with a panel discussion with local designers. And we have a design expert named Bobby Hughes coming to lead a 2-day workshop about integrating design strategy thinking into all different kinds of work and using it to solve all different kinds of problems in the workplace.